Welcome to Reimagine Your Marketing with Offer Science. Today, what we're going to be doing is really tapping into market mastery, learning about customer discovery and customer research, and ultimately setting the foundations for crafting what we call unbeatable offers, offers that deeply resonate with your market and are the best that your market has to offer. All right. And then our objectives. We have 3 objectives tonight. First, we're going to understand why we need to make a shift in our focus from products and services to our customers and our market. We need to learn why we need to shift from selling our products or services to selling offers. And then we need to learn a simple framework for identifying what we call a golden opportunity in your market through a process called customer discovery. And this is so critical because so many of us are so focused on what it is that we do and what it is that we sell that we forget to take the time to really understand who it is that we're selling to and what they're actually looking for. And this process is going to allow you to actually find that space where there's untapped opportunity, where there's blue ocean instead of a sea of red. And so what does it mean if you guys are here today? Well, it means that you are a small business owner, you're probably a solopreneur, and you're interested in taking your marketing to the next level. And if you've met me before, then you know that that's really what Growth Loop is all about, helping small businesses grow through strategy, through marketing, website development, funnel engineering, all those things. And so if you haven't met me yet, my name is Christian Smotherman. I'm the founder of Growth Loop. And we're a technology company that helps small businesses grow with done with you and done for you, supercharge websites, funnels, custom CRM services, all sorts of things. And we also help businesses grow with world-class consulting in areas such as branding, marketing, sales, and growth operations. Okay. So like we were just talking about, if you're here, you're really looking for a way to take your marketing to the next level. You understand that marketing is the vehicle to more sales. So what do you want to do? You want to figure out how to do that at a high level so that you can connect with more of your ideal customers and grow your business. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. If you're here to maximize your marketing so you can connect with more customers and grow your business, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see a lot of 1s. If I see some 2s in, put a 2 if you're good. We're going to reach out to you and hire you, okay, or become a partner. Excellent. I see a lot of 1s. Now, what I want everyone to do is put this into the chat. And this one might, throw some of us for a loop, but some of you guys are going to have answers to this. Who's your ideal customer? Who is your ideal customer? Put that into the chat. Just think whatever comes first to mind. You don't have to overthink it, but who is your ideal customer? Don't be shy. Ooh, merchants, startups, and small businesses from Bernice. B2B business owner with more than 5 FTEs. Yep, full-time employees. Someone struggling to maintain their health routines. Small bit, Person that does not know what to buy as gifts. Ooh, that's unique. Excellent. So just take a look at that, right? Mission-driven organizations, any business that needs bookkeeping and taxes, someone who has a lot of stress, right? There's so many different types of ideal customers in here. And it's interesting because we're all from different industries, right? Like we're all doing different things. But even though there's so much diversity, right, amongst us, we're all trying to deliver spectacular experiences to our customers. We're trying to deliver something of value to them so that we can receive something of value in exchange. And ultimately, we want our customers coming back with what? Fistfuls of money in their hands, which enables us to do what? Generate more revenue, increase cash flow, grow our operation, and make more impact. And ultimately, what does this lead to? It leads to sovereignty. It leads to real freedom. It leads to feeling like you're living a purpose-filled and fulfilled life. That's why we're here. That's what all of this translates to. And so in our last workshop, we discussed setting the foundations for creating that reality for ourselves. right? We talked about what that process looks like, going from scaling confusion to scaling clarity. And we also learned some really scary statistics about businesses, right? Like we found out that 86% of small businesses generate less than $100,000 per year. That's crazy. That means only 13% of small businesses are grossing $100,000 or more per year. We also found out that the failure rate for small businesses within 5 years is 65 to 80%. And we found out that the number one most cited reason for business failure is lack of market demand. But there was a little trick there, because what we uncovered during our investigation was that the real reason small businesses are struggling isn't just because there's a lack of market demand, right? But it's because the market isn't clear about who they are and what value they bring to the market. That's really where that disconnect between market and demand lies, right? It's not that you're totally non-essential to the market. It's that you haven't figured out how to position yourself and communicate what you do to the market in such a way that makes you valuable and essential. And that's what we're here to figure out. So what did we do last time, right? We spent some time getting clear on our business's identity, and we crafted a profitable purpose statement that clearly articulates who we are, what we do, who we serve, why we serve them, and the transformation that we promise to the market, right? This enables us to build our business on what? A foundation of clarity, so that the market has crystal clear clarity on why we're important and why we're valued. And if you weren't able to come to that workshop, again, the reason why we want folks to follow us on YouTube is because we have all the replays for workshops on that channel. So make sure to check that one out if you haven't been able to do it, because it's really valuable. And so tonight, what are we going to do? We're going to be teaching you a new way of thinking about how to serve your customers. And we're going to teach you a framework that we hope will transform the way you approach your marketing and sales. So this right here is going to be a new paradigm for a lot of you to really think about your business from a different light, okay? And think about business in general from a different light. And that frame that we're going to be talking about today is the offer model. And this is a scientific approach to crafting what we call unbeatable offers that your customers can't say no to. Like that's ultimately what we want to create, right? We want to create something so good that when people see it, it immediately resonates with them. And they know that this right here is in a category of one. It's special, it's unique, it's differentiated, and it's going to get me the result that I'm looking for. And all those things, those decisions are often happening instantaneously. We talked about that before, how buyers are really making decisions through their subconscious, emotion, and a little bit of logic. Okay. So before we jump into offers and the market and figuring out what all this stuff means, first we need to identify what in the world is an offer anyway. Like, Christian, what is an offer? Because I hear this all the time. I'm sure some of you all use this terminology, right? You say, oh, I got an offer. Just like some of you say you have a product or a service, but like, what does this stuff mean? What are we talking about here? So when we're talking about an offer, and please excuse this little ugly graphic, but I'm going to explain what it means because it is valuable. But an offer is this. It's a transformational vehicle with multiple inputs that is measured not in terms of price, but in terms of value. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. An offer, and this is what distinguishes it from a product or a service. There's a reason we're shifting to offer, and we're going to talk about that soon. But an offer is a transformational vehicle with multiple inputs that is measured not in terms of price, but in terms of value. And what I mean by that is this: an offer isn't your product or your services. It's not a one-to-one relationship between your products and your services. It's how your products and your services are packaged. It's how you package those things together into something that is so valuable, people are willing to pay whatever the cost is to acquire it. And unfortunately, for most of us, right, we're stuck selling products and services, not offers. So we don't have any idea what it's like for people to be knocking down our doors wanting to work with us or buy from us. Most of us are thinking in terms of time for our services or units for our products. So again, we have no idea what it's like to be paid for value instead of price for a unit or time. But when we think about an offer is something that takes you from point A to point Z and transforms you along the way. That's how we shift to being what? A struggling small business that's attempting to provide services or products to the market, to a premium business that is providing powerful, unbeatable premium offers to the market that create transformation in people's lives. And so let's dive into this a little bit further, right? When you can create more and better offers, your business will begin to grow faster than you can imagine, because what are you doing? You're bringing transformation to the marketplace. So you're going to be attracting people to your business based on the transformation that you can provide to them, not based on the commodity, right? The product, the thing, but the transformation, what you're able to create with your customer. That's the mindset shift that we all need to really take a hold of this evening. And so let's think about this even further, right? Like, look at this graphic. What does it say to you? There's some misalignment. There's some disconnect, right? There's no fit. And the problem is, for most of us, is that it's not that, we don't have the capacity to grow really amazing businesses. It's not that. It's that most of us are selling the wrong things, right? So not only are we not selling offers, we're selling products and services, right? But we also aren't selling what our market actually wants. We're selling what we assume or think or hope or pray that they want. You guys see how that can actually result in some really, really bad circumstances where you've spent so much time and energy trying to get the product or the service right that when you finally bring it to market and nobody wants it, you're crushed. Like, can you see how that is possible, and how for many of us, that's the current reality that we're living in, but we might not even know it, right? We might not even know it.
Very good.
And so customers, they don't respond to products and services. They don't. They respond to solutions to their problems, because
Right.
customers don't just buy products and services. This is the ninja stuff that we're trying to teach you guys today. They're not here to buy your product or your service. That's not what they're buying. They're here to buy more money or save more money. They're here to buy more time or reduce the waste of time. They're here to buy more happiness. They don't care about the Kit Kat. They care about how the Kit Kat tastes and makes them feel, and the dopamine kick that the Kit Kat gives them, right? They want more happiness. They're here to buy less pain, right? It's not that I want the Aleve, right? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to the store and buy Aleve. No, I'm buying the Aleve to alleviate pain. That's why I'm buying it. It's not about the product. It's about what the product can do. Or they're buying transformation, right? Going from point A to point Z, going from zero to hero, going from broke to rich, going from depressed to happy and empowered. Transformation, transmutation of their suffering into something new. So what we have to do as business owners is we've got to stop thinking in terms of what our products or services are and trying to preach to the world, this is what our product is. This is what we are. This is this about our product. And think more about what our products and services are doing to create the kind of results our customers are looking for, right? Because ultimately these things are part of a vehicle of transformation. So If we're going to create offers that our market can't say no to, what does this mean? It means we need to understand the market that we're selling to. And the right offer starts with mastering your market. So looking back at that data, right? Remember that 42% data point where we saw that 42% of businesses cited lack of market demand as the reason why they failed, right? Like what that means is these businesses couldn't find what we traditionally call product market fit. But what we're calling it here, we're calling it market product fit. And then eventually we're going to call it market offer fit because that's an even better way of looking at it. But for right now, we're going to call it market product fit, right? So what's the problem with that, right? When you don't have market product fit? Well, oftentimes the reason that businesses fail to find market product fit or market service fit, if you're a service-based business, isn't because they don't have a product or a service, right? Or something that is like good, but it's because they came up with an idea and turned it into a product or service before finding and selecting a market that needs a specific solution to a specific problem. All right, so we're going to say that one more time. I'm going to break it down even more simply. The problem is that a lot of people start with an idea and they think that that idea is going to be some game-changing product. And because they think that the idea is going to be a game-changing product, they think everyone's going to think it's a game-changing product. And then they mistakenly go to market with that false confidence that this is a game-changing product. And then when they bring it to market and there's crickets and nobody wants it or nobody understands it, then there's devastation and feelings of failure, right? And so the problem is we're doing things backwards. We're starting here when really we should be starting the other way around. And what are the implications of that? I don't know if some of y'all remember this company called Quibi, but it was around. It was like a flash in the pan, like briefly. I think it came out in like 2019 or something like that. And I believe it had backings from people who were part of Pixar. The former CEO of eBay was a part of that whole thing. And it was one of the most well-funded startups in history. I think it almost had $2 billion in investment. And what happened? What happened to Quibi? Well, they collapsed. And the reason they collapsed is because they didn't understand their market. So Quibi was a mobile-only streaming service that disseminated quick bite content. So that's why it's called Quibi. So they were selling shorts. But the reason why they failed is because they didn't have market product fit. Even though billions of people watch short form content, billions of people have a smartphone, they couldn't even crack 100,000 subscribers. Why? Why couldn't a company with billions of dollars do this? Because they didn't do the research. And because they didn't do their research, they didn't realize that the market didn't need or want their solution at all. The market already had multiple solutions, YouTube and TikTok, that solved the problem for free. So nobody cared to spend extra money to watch glorified TikToks. No one cared. So what ultimately happened to Quibi, right? Poor Quibi, right? Poor Quibi. Well, what ultimately happened to Quibi? They dissolved because, again, nobody needed them. And that's a good question, Celeste. What made them sell so well to investors? Well, here's an interesting thing about the investment world. Oftentimes, investors are making bets on the founders, not the product. And oftentimes, investors themselves don't have that level of understanding of the relationship between offer and market or product and market, right? If we want to look at it the traditional way, right? They don't have that understanding. They just have a bunch of money, right? But they missed the mark here. And they ended up losing billions of dollars. Now, let's take another example, School. Some of you may have heard of this platform. Some of you may have not. It's pretty new. But what's amazing about School is even though it's new, it's skyrocketed online, right? It's taken the internet by storm. So School was able to build a product that their target market, course creators, experts, and coaches who wanted to find ways to scale their services and products found extremely useful from the moment they hit the market. But why? Well, let's take a look at the founder, Sam Ovens. He was a coach. He was a course creator himself. So he deeply understood the problem he was trying to solve. And he had years of experience working with people who would ultimately use his platform. So it was based on knowledge and research and understanding of his market that allowed him to build his business on the back of real feedback and data rather than assumptions. So many of us are making assumptions. And what happens when you assume? Well, I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but I don't know if it's okay for me to say this on a lightable workshop. But if you assume, what happens? Well, you're making an ass out of me, right? Don't assume, right? Don't assume. When you make assumptions, those assumptions are meant to be made for you to validate them, not for you to build product on or service on. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay. So, although Quibi had billions of dollars, they missed the critical truth. Marketing doesn't start with product. It starts with market. Duh. It's called marketing. Right? School started with the market first. They didn't build the product and then go to hunt for customers, right? So you see, they went in the right direction. Okay. Now, before we start getting into our exercises for the evening, what I want to do is make sure that we have a clear understanding of our terms, because again, we're throwing these terms around, but like we need to have shared language. So first, let's define what we mean by market and customer, because we're going to be using these terms a lot and they're a little bit different, but we're kind of using them interchangeably in ways, but you'll see the nuance between the two of them. They're connected, but they're different. So what is the market? The market is the cumulative demographic of buyers and sellers, including your competitors, interested in exchange or transaction of specific products and services to solve specific problems. Right? Oftentimes we hear the word market and it's very nebulous. It's like, well, what is it? We want to think about specific products, specific services, specific problems that are being solved. And the group of buyers and sellers that are involved and interested in that specific market. Right. So we're thinking about our market, not the total economic market, but our market. OK. And then customers. These are the people most likely to buy your offering. And your customers make up a smaller, more segmented part of your overall market. OK. So you really want to be clear on who these customers are. You want to be able to target these people. You want to know these people like the back of your hand. You want to know what they're thinking when they wake up. You want to know what they smell like before they go to sleep. You want to know what kind of coffee they drink. That's the level of granularity of insight that we want to have when it comes to our customers. They're the most important element of our business. So as we're jumping into this, because all of this is the lead up to building that right offer, every business needs to do market and customer research in 2 phases. So if you haven't done this yet, it's okay. You can have been in business for 20 years and have never done this, and it's perfectly okay because you're going to do it now. And I want you guys to sort of shift your thinking that a business is this kind of like stagnant thing. No, it's like an ever evolving living organism. You could have started your business 10 years ago and you need to now do some research to do a relaunch. There's a reason we do research, to recreate, to reimagine, to redo, to relaunch, to rebuild, to re-engineer. It starts with research. And so I want all of you to start thinking like, okay, I have an R&D, a research and development department in my small business. And that R&D lab, that's actually what's going to ensure that I'm profitable. Because I'm not going to stand on my assumptions and my egotistical belief that my product is good. I'm going to stand on what the market is telling me. I'm going to stand on the data, the science. Okay. So phase 1, and this is what we're going to be doing now and what we're going to be doing after this workshop, is pre-launch research. So this type of research is what validates market demand for a potential offer. The last thing we want to do is spend a million hours crafting the best offer in our mind and then bringing it to market and nobody wants it. Right? We've got to spend some time doing the right research so that we can craft the right offer. And the beauty of this is that it allows us to uncover new problems that need solving. It allows us to get in a deeper alignment with our customer and understand our customer at a more granular scale. Because the deeper of a relationship that you have with the people in your market, the more agile you're going to be in terms of being able to respond to their needs with solutions, with offers, with new products, with services that are transformational that you're able to package together. We want to have that level of insight so we can move at the speed of need, okay? The speed of desire. And then we have post-launch research, which we're going to do after, right? We bring this thing to market, and that is where we are testing whether or not what we've brought to market is lining up with expectations, right? We're improving the current offer. We're looking at ways to acquire customers and retain current customers, and really thinking about the experience that we're creating and the data that we're getting from that. What are the results? What are the transformations? Is the problem actually being solved? If it's not being solved, is that why I lost that client? If they're not happy with the product, is that why sales have gone down this month? Right? That's the power of research. And so we're going to do a couple of exercises. So the first thing I want you guys to do is ask yourself a couple of questions, right? Because this right here, this is a framework to find out, do you need to do market and customer research? And the answer is yes. But I want you to find that out for yourself, right? Do you need more data? Do you need to do research? So here's a quick framework I want everybody to do right now to find this out. Ask yourself these 5 questions. Do most customers know your product's main value proposition? Like if you spoke to your customers right now, would they actually know what it is that you do and what the value of it is? Do people group your product accurately with the right competitors? Again, do people know who you are and what you do? So would they categorize you with competitors in your vertical? 3, are people who rejected similar products willing to try yours? Are you good enough for that? Have you crafted an offer that is up there with your competitors so that if people are looking for alternatives, they might choose you? Do customers recommend your product to others? Or are you finding that things are kind of falling flat, or people aren't really happy with what you do, so they don't tell anybody? Because I'm telling you, one of the fastest ways to grow your business is word of mouth. So if there's no word of mouth behind your business, no flame behind people's tongue when they talk about you, you might need to do some more research. And then the last question, would customers be upset if your product or your service suddenly disappeared? And when I say product and when I say product, I also mean service, because I know a lot of us are service folks too, okay? Would they be upset if you vanished, if your service vanished? What would happen? So here's what I want from you guys. I want to see how you measured up. Put a 1 in the chat if you think you need to do more market research based on these questions. Put a 2 in the chat if you think you got market fit. And like I said, it's okay if you do. We just going to have to hit you up. Yes. I want to hear from somebody. Why'd they pick 1? Like, I want to hear from somebody. Like, what do these questions make you think or feel? One bold person. Ooh, Mike says, always evaluate my marketing on a regular basis. Absolutely. Anyone else? Yeah, feel free to use the chat. I want to hear from one more person. Also, feel free to speak too if you have a reflection.
I'll share.
Okay.
The reason why I put a one is because when I heard the question, like, do most customers know your product's main value propositions? I knew it was no because I'm still clarifying those main value
Mm.
propositions. So I felt like, okay, if I'm not clear on it, they're definitely not clear on it.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Celeste just said the same thing. She's like, I'm just starting and I'm not even clear about my main value prop, right? And that is okay
Exactly.
because it's a process, and this process of discovery, which is why I'm so glad y'all are here, because you're going to get started on the right foot, right? So again, whether you're just getting started or you've been in business for 10, 20, 30 years, this is critical to the survival of your business. Research and how this connects to offer science is critical. Okay. So let's go on to the next slide. So this is just something that like has been on my mind. Like as I think about research, as I do research, like one thing about our company, and we talked about this like, you know, long time ago, we talked about this, like really like growth loop. We do so many different services, we bring transformation to the market, but at our core, we're a research company. And we're teaching other companies how to get into that frame of mind because it's through research that you discover innovation. And it's through innovation that you can create disruptions. And it's through disruptions that you can create rapid wealth and growth, right? And here's the beautiful thing about disruption. Your disruption doesn't have to be as big as Apple's was when it brought the first iPhone to market. You can create mini disruptions, little baby disruptions in your space that create legastic wealth and success for you. It doesn't have to be $50 billion for it to be successful. So as you guys are thinking about customer research, I want you to think about it like this, right? Customer research is like following clues and hints from your market until they lead you to hidden truths and treasures. So you're who? You're Indiana Jones, Indiana James Riley, right? Indiana Loretta, Indiana Mike, right? Like this is who we are, right? We're looking for the truth within our market. We're looking for our customers' truth. And when we uncover those truths, we see that there's treasure behind that. There's golden opportunity behind that, not something we're trying to make up or force or create. We have to find it. And you can only find it through what? Research. Okay. So let's talk research because this is how we get extreme clarity. And it's also what's going to supercharge your sales and marketing. How to actually like really get clear on how to do it. Like, how do we actually go out and do quality research and come back and feedback loop that into developing a really powerful offer? Because in the follow up to this workshop, we're going to actually start structuring our offer, and we're going to use a very specific science backed sequence to do that, that ultimately is going to leave you with something really transformational. Like we took James through that process and really were able to help him find that differentiation, right? We've taken others through that process, but it starts with the research. So your research objectives, my researchers, here's the things that you guys need to keep in mind. Who specifically are we actually serving? Who? If you went to the purpose workshop, you have an idea of that. What is the problem people are hiring your business to solve? Every time someone pays you, they're hiring you to solve a problem. That's what they're paying for. There's a job on the back end of that payment, even if it's a product, right? They're hiring you, they're getting that product for a reason. There's a job that that product is doing. Again, if it's a Kit Kat, it's just a quick dopamine hit, but it's a job, right? I'm not just eating a Kit Kat for the sake of the Kit Kat. Okay. What factors go into your customers' buying process or decisions? What are they thinking about? What are the triggers that need to be hit for them to actually make a buying decision? Is there enough emotional weight to what you offer? Or is it dead? Or is it boring? Or is it Not compelling. What criteria do people use to judge competing products or services within your market? Like, 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 what are they? What criteria are they using? Is it price? Is it like the amount of money that they're going to make on the back end? Is it how much safety and security they feel because they bought your insurance over another company's insurance? Like, what is it? And then the last question is, can you specifically, as the entrepreneur, as the visionary, craft an offer to this market that beats out competing products or services? Is it possible? Right? Like, personally, I don't think that it's in my best interest to go and compete with Apple. So even if I see problems and challenges and things like that, I don't think that right now I have the capacity to craft an offer to Apple's market that's going to beat them, right? So it has to, you got to be realistic, right? And you got to think within the terms of your customers and your market and your competitors. Okay. Now, when we're doing the research, there's a couple of approaches that we can take, right? And it can happen in a number of ways. And what we recommend is for you to combine a couple of these methods, okay? Because ultimately, the reason we're talking about this is because we want you to go out there and have conversations with your customers. And we want you to get out of your customers the truth of what they're actually looking for, like actually, not what you think, what they say. And it's based on that research where you're going to be able to start to connect the dots. Again, it's like a treasure hunt, a treasure map. You're going to start to see the through lines. It is hard to visualize how powerful this is until you do it more than once. Because I can tell you, Growth Loop, we've probably done this about 20 times. And every time it's amazing. It's lit. Literally. Like, you're just like, wow, this is mind blowing that I just found that, right? It's supposed to be fun. So there are a couple of ways to do this research, right? The first way, which I love, this is, to me, is my favorite way, is customer interviews. And I really suggest that everyone tries this method out, right? So for interviews, we suggest targeting 5 ideal customers, people who you having, and we're going to show you how to identify those people in a second. That's what our activity is going to be. But target 5 ideal customers and ask them no more than 5 to 10 questions about their pain points. We're going to send you some of those questions. So you're going to have the actual document to ask them the questions. All right. And all you got to do is get them on a discovery call and ask them those questions. Let them know that you're putting together a really powerful offer. Now, what is powerful about this is not only are you doing research, but you're also creating customers for the future. Because those people are now going to want to follow up with you. There's ninja stuff about everything we're teaching you. You go have 20 conversations right now and have a 20-person pipeline for when you come out with the offer. This is how powerful this stuff is, because you're showing that market that you care enough to speak directly to them and get the right answers so that you can provide the right solutions to the problem. Because you got to actually find the right problem too, okay? So customer interviews. Another way is customer surveys. This is another really powerful mechanism. It's great when you've got large groups of people, when you're doing workshops, when you have more folks coming into your ecosystem, because then you can actually get people to take them, right? And it doesn't feel like spam. And we often recommend, like, even offering a gift card to people, especially if you don't have a lot of traction in the marketplace. Maybe pick out, set aside a budget of $100, $150 and, just go out and reach out to folks that you think might be ideal customers and let them know, hey, for 25 minutes of your time, I'd love to ask you a couple questions. And on the back end, you're going to get a $25 gift card to Amazon, right? So customer surveys, just take the survey, show me that you did it, and then I'll send over the gift card. The next way is field research. Now, this is for specific types of businesses, right? So I'm going to have a way better chance getting data from my customers by talking to them than like walking around and observing entrepreneurs like just living life, right? I'm not going to get much from that. But say that like you provide some kind of technological solution for small farms, or you have some kind of integration that like needs to be installed in a company's IT like infrastructure, and you need to see what it looks like. see if you can set up an opportunity to observe how these things are working or learn from someone who's already doing it. Go to the actual farm and see what the process is for rolling out whatever product it is that they're producing that's related to your potential offer, right? That's field research. I suspect most of us won't really do this, but depends on your business type. Another one that I really recommend is to analyze your current customers. Okay. So all of us have customers, have worked with someone before. Even if we haven't launched our business, you have customers. You have people that you've worked with in the past. You have people who you've brought value to in the past. You have people who know what your gifts and your skills are. You have people who you've brought transformation to their situation. To think back on those things, reflect on that. If you have current customers, really think about like, what are they really benefiting from when it comes to working with you? What are the threads that are coming up? Like whenever we work with customers, we often are asking them for feedback to see like, what story are they painting about us? What are they saying about us? Then we can internalize that and turn that into something. Okay. And then the last one, competitor research, right? You can look at how other successful companies in your industry are framing the problem and their solution to the market. Like, I'll give you a really weird example, actually. Like when I was thinking about like, how is Growth Loop special? Like, who are some of our competitors? Oddly enough, like Harvard Business School came up as a competitor, right? And it's like, why would Harvard Business School come up? Because they have an executive education program. And people spend $250,000 for like 12 weeks. And what do they get out of that? A network, right? Some training. But are they getting tools? Are they getting real world applied methods, tactics that are going to result in $10,000, $20,000 sales? Are they getting like elite branding where they can go out to the marketplace and like really take it by storm? Probably not. Right. So that competitor, what can we do better than that competitor? Right. So I'd rather compete with Harvard Business School than Apple. Right. I think I can come up with something to compete with them more so than them. Okay. Look at your competitors and know that each of these methods work, but you got to probably pick which one works best for you. So I would recommend starting out with interviews or having conversations or looking back at past customers and then branching out from there. Okay. So now for our closing exercise. And what we're going to send around in the chat right now is our document for this exercise. I'm actually going to pull this up. I'm going to pull this out real quick and share it with you guys. So this document here, all you've got to do is go in the chat and you see it right there in the chat. You click on the document and then you can make a copy of it. You can make a copy of that document. So it's in view mode. So go to file, hit make a copy, and then you can follow along for the rest of this. Okay. So lastly, let's get through the rest of this. So what we're going to do right now is set ourselves up by crafting a customer profile prototype. And this customer profile prototype is really an opportunity for us to make some assumptions about our market and then go to market with our questions and answer those and see if those assumptions line up with reality. But before we do that, what we need to do is get clear on some of the components and conditions that we're really interested in looking at and then put all that together. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is identify our core market, right? This is really important because when we're going out to have interviews or talk to people, we need to know what market we're in, right? And there tends to be 4 core markets. You may be a hybrid of sorts. And if you're an other, I'd be very interested in seeing where you think you fall into because it might be interesting to expand on this. Actually, it's typically 3 when people talk about markets, but I added in tech there because I think that tech is its own market of sorts. But what market are you in? Are you a health company, right? Are you wealth, relationships, tech? Which one, right? That's the broad core market, big market. So go ahead and answer that question. And actually put in the chat. I want to see what you are. Yeah, Alexa already put in there. She's health. I want to see what everybody's core market is. What's your core market? Health. Ooh. Oh, it's good to see you, Goy. Wealth, Loretta. Yeah. Ooh. Mike said mix of all the above. Okay, so personal shopper. That might be. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I might put that one into health. Even relationships too, especially if you're getting gifts for people. Yeah.
But Christian, can you or somebody describe what a relationship business is?
Certainly. I'm actually going to give you an example. Couples counseling would be an example of that. A dating coach, a family lawyer. They would probably be a hybrid between wealth and relationships. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Then the next question, what is your sub-market? What is your sub-market? So here's an example of that. Fitness, that's health. Nutrition, that's health. Therapy, health. Accounting, wealth. Marketing, wealth. Funding, wealth. Insurance, wealth. Couples counseling, relationships. Family law, wealth and relationships. IT consulting, tech. So what's your sub-market? This is really important to distinguish these things. Beautiful. Cooking class. I love that. It is relationships. So what is your sub-market? Everybody put your sub-market in here. Marketing, beautiful. Relationships, therapy and relationships. Ooh, if you're a therapist, we definitely need to schedule some time because we have some special things that we do with therapists. Yep, personal development. That could fall under health. It could fall under health. It could fall under wealth, health, relationships. It could fall under one of those 3. Depends on like what the personal development is focused on, right? It could also be multiple. Excellent. Leadership coach. Yep. Beautiful. And now what internal problem are people in your sub-market trying to solve? And it's one of these 4. It's one of these 4. This is hard. Okay. You need to pick and it could be a combo. Do they want to save or make money? Do they want to save or waste less time? Do they want to improve their overall happiness or reduce or eliminate something that's causing pain? It has to be one of these 4. Put the numbers in the chat. If it's multiple, just put multiple numbers. If it's one number, just put one number. So Leslie's 4, reduce or eliminate something that's causing pain. Celeste is they want to save or make money. Leslie is 3, improve their overall happiness. Ooh, Thomas is all of them. If you hit all of them, you got something special. Beautiful. 2 and 3. 4. Okay, Leslie's 4, reduce or eliminate something that's painful. Yep. Excellent. Do y'all see like this is so important because again, these are why people buy. People are not buying your product for your product or your service for your service. They're buying it to solve these internal problems. Okay. Oh yes, and anybody who, just like I mentioned, we'll have some conversations with some folks after this. Okay. Because I see some comments about therapists. All right, so external problem. What external problem are they trying to solve? Like now that's more specific, right? So I could want to save and make more money, but then the external side of it is that I now have the ability to buy the things that I want, right? Maybe it's they need a better website that has capabilities of marketing automation and CRM combined. That's what our customers are often looking for. Maybe they need a way to live a more authentic life. Maybe they need a step-by-step system to break free from past traumas. And Mike, that's great. Like if these things are all clicking, that means you have something really powerful, especially if you can master how to talk about these internal problems that people have and communicate how your solution solves those things in a clear way. Yes, Leslie, need to break free from past and present traumas. And again, these are just examples. So you can, for this one, you can create your own, right? For the internal, it's just those four. But these external ones, yep, exactly. Exactly. Like Ella, you got it right, right? We're talking about wants versus exactly, right? Yep. Beautiful. So now, let's now sort of distill this into what we call our niche avatar, right? So the reason we went from core market to sub market to the answer asking these questions is now so that we can identify a person, right? We want to understand who within this. Now we have a niche, right? Outside of the US, they call it niche. I like niche sometimes too, right? But now we have a niche, okay? So this is the specific core group of people that we believe are really aligned with what it is that we have to offer, who need it, right? So who's the ideal avatar in your niche? For me, it's business owners who feel stuck or overwhelmed. For one of our therapy clients, it's high achievers who want to be unstuck. For James, who's on this call, is mission-driven founders who need accounting setups. Just had a conversation with the IT person, right, who works with nonprofits. Yes, someone who is stressed and wanting change. Leslie, business owners who are stuck and overwhelmed. Alexa, some days she's talking to mothers and others I'm talking to teachers. Now, this is going to be a critical question, right? Like who out of that niche? Or is it teacher mothers, right? Or is it a blend? Beautiful. Beautiful. I love the answers. Now, I want everybody to put in the chat, how urgent is the problem that your customers have to them? How urgent is it on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, how quickly, like when I say urgency, like how quickly are they trying to solve it? Mike, usually a 10. Why, Mike? Why is it a 10? Put that in the chat. Why is it a 10? Like, what have you found to be a 10, 7, 8? Mm-hmm. Their business is not exact. Yes. So they're stuck. Celeste is an 8. Goy is a 7. How can you get those to how Yoon is a 7? How can we get those to a 9 or a 10? That's what you want to be thinking. We can't answer that now, but how can you get those numbers to a 9 or a 10? What can you do? What shift can you make slightly looking at the maybe a different angle of the problem that would take it to a 10, right? Stress is controlling their lives and creating anxiety and depression. Wow. Wow. I see that. What buying power do they have? How much buying power do they have? You really like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much buying power do they have? And this is really important, right? Like, are you selling to people who don't have money? That's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. So let's think 1 to 10. How much buying power do they have? Okay, a 5, right? So whatever the buying power is, what you're going to want to think about is what offer can match that buying power. Or how do I even bring something that's slightly above the buying power, but is so valuable that it attracts a lot of people? But understand, if you have something that is reasonably priced, right, but has outsized value, you're going to have a lot of demand, which is a good thing. Excellent, Mike. Excellent. 9 years and they still remember it. You got to get, if you haven't already, you got to get a testimonial from them. 8 from Bernice, right? 8 buying power. I want to hear others though. What are these buying powers? I want to see these answers because I want to know where we're at.
Christian, are you looking for the buying power of the person within the institution that we're targeting or the company?
So it will be whoever is making the purchasing decision. If it's a business, right? Like if ultimately your service is for a business, there's a representative for that business who's making the decision, but it's really the business, right? They have the buying power. If it's a person or a consumer, it would be that person. Excellent. Excellent question, Celeste.
Said about a 7.
That's good. And then what are their constraints? Money, time, knowledge. Is it other responsibilities? Is it bureaucracy? What are the constraints? Like what's holding them back from getting rid of the problems that they have? What would hold them back from working with you? Is it time? Right? Money, Leslie. Time, knowledge, Thomas. Knowledge and other responsibilities. Great. So again, all of this is so important because when you do your research and you start to understand what specifically these are, you can subtly sculpt your offer to address these constraints. So one thing we found with entrepreneurs is that, especially when they're first getting started, there's a time challenge and a money challenge. So what we've done is we've created a sustainable offer that honestly puts them in a time machine so they get to their goal faster and it's affordable. So we found that middle ground, but it was only through research that we were able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So the next question, alternatives. What are the other options that they have to solve their problems? Are there other options, right? And you can put yes or no, and if you know them, you can answer. And then the last question is how much, and this is key. You might have to think about this after the call, but how much are the least expensive and most expensive available options? This is so important. You need to know this. In your space, who is selling your service or offer or product, or should I say service, product, or offer at the least expensive price point? And then who's selling it at the most expensive price point? You need to know that. And why? Okay.
So how do you know that though? I mean, how you can't always know that, especially if you're a consultant offering a service. You don't know what other consultants charge, for example.
It's really hard to do that for certain service-based businesses, but there are ways that you can achieve it. So, for instance, you can take a look at the size of a company. Go to apollo.com and see, well, how much revenue are they generating per year? Then look and see how many employees they have. And then think about it that way. For a company of this size, with these number of employees, with these types of clients, is this going to be an expensive offer or a cheap one? Right. And other ways to do it is to go and speak to people in your space. So for instance, I'm a part owner in a data analytics company that's like an AI based company that provides relevance and sentiment scores for consumer generated data to retail stores, right? Well, when we were first pricing that product, we had to go and talk to different companies that were in the space and get an understanding of what those budgets look like, talk to our actual consumer to get insider intel on what their budgets were and what they were already paying. People are more willing to give you that information than you think. But you got to have conversations with them, right? And put yourself out there a little bit. You might hit somebody up in your space and say, hey, I want to get coffee with you. I have some questions. I'm putting something together, right? I'm an indirect competitor in your space, but there's an opportunity for us to create something called co-opetition. Like, let's work together. We're going to compete, but I want to learn from you, right? There are ways to do it. Okay. And so just to wrap that exercise up, I just want to say, guys, like, I know research is not the sexiest thing. It's not the most fun thing to do, but congratulations, because you stood through, you stayed strong, and you've set a foundation for an intelligent customer research project to deeply understand your market and craft an offer that resonates. Like, you've taken the first step. This is a big deal. So give yourself a round of applause. You know, we're right at an hour. I know we were waiting for folks, so we're starting a little late. But give yourself a round of applause. Okay. And for homework, and this is what I want you guys to do, because what I want y'all to realize about these workshops is this is a journey, and we're taking you guys on this journey with us. So at every one of these workshops, we're moving the ball forward. So that's why we definitely want you to treat this like it's a series, like it's a classroom, right? This is your opportunity to stay consistent. So for homework, what I want you guys to do is use the customer research document that we're about to put in the chat to ask your customers key questions. So this is for customer interviews. Use that document to do that. It's the easiest place to start, but it's, for a lot of people, it's the most scary, because it means you have to actually talk to people and reach out to them. And it's so easy to do that. The only thing you got to do is literally send them a message, say you're putting together an offer and you're interested in having a conversation with them because you're somebody that I can tell is doing something special in your field, and I know you'd be able to give me good feedback. Do you have time to hop on a 15-minute call so we can chat? Right? So easy. So let's go ahead and get that customer discovery document in there. It's right there. You can see it. Okay. And then if you actually do it and you send it to us, we're going to send you this template. And this is your customer profile template. This is actually one of our clients, Siobhan, who's a therapist. And she's now building this like really beautiful group practice, productizing her service in a really beautiful way to scale it. But this is what we'll send you. We'll send you a customer avatar template so that you can actually begin to put together what that ideal customer looks like and visualize that. That's so important. You want to do that before we start to craft our offer. And in the next workshop, that's what we're going to do.